Good evening. We'd like to thank Torah Anytime for making this share available to the public, and to remind, of course, everyone that we're learning Le'ilu Nishmas Mordechai ben Daniel, the Shomer Shav and Aliyah. So we're moving toward the end of the 10th parak of Shara Teshuva, and the last time we discussed some of the fundamental questions that people have about Teshuva and how we answered each one methodically and clearly, and how even though there might be seemingly insurmountable challenges to doing Teshuva, yet at the same time, he explained to us last time that you try the best you can, you have siyata d'shmaya, and basically there's really no case where one can say Teshuva is out of my realm. So having said that, we're now moving towards the last part, and it really gives us an incredible charge here. I don't think we'll be able to finish the parak tonight, but tremendous charge, Musar charge, an inspirational charge of what we have to do, especially now as we are after Tisha before Chodesh Elul. This is a time that we, in a sense, have to prepare for Elul, and it's hard to imagine a more uplifting message than the one he's going to give us here this evening. So, Rabbi Avrohom so in my Chavos is page Kuf Samach Dalet. So I have explained to you, my brother or my sister, I explained to you what is the reason, what's the logic why one needs to do tshuva. I also revealed to you how does one do tshuva. I explained to you the need to do tshuva. I explained to you how one does tshuva. And now that I've done that, and now that you've learned it, you're at this point, you're at this juncture in this particular chapter. It will now be a great indictment, a great sin against you if you choose not to do tshuva, by not returning to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You'll have no excuses. Why didn't you do it? You'll have no answer. When that question gets confronted to us, we don't want to be in that group where he says, if you don't listen and you don't take the messages that I've given to you, you will not have a good answer. Because one morning, after 120 years, what are you going to answer to your God? When HaKadosh Baruch Hu asks you, why didn't you do tshuva? That's one of the questions we're going to be asked if, God forbid, we're not in that category. If you answer back to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I didn't know that I had to. I thought, once I sinned. I didn't know anything about tshuva. Well, if that's what we try to answer, you can't give such an answer. If you read this, you do know that you have to do tshuva. You can't argue ignorance anymore. And of course, maybe some people are thinking, so maybe it's a sign that I shouldn't learn it altogether. Maybe ignorance is bliss. Better I don't know anything, and then I'm better off. And that chas v'shalom is certainly not true. It's a very warped way of thinking, because ignorance is not an excuse. In most of the cases, certainly not for something as fundamental as this. And our job is not to sort of get out of excuses. Our job is to learn so we can be equipped to maximize who we are and the obligations and the responsibilities that we have, and to fulfill them. So that's really not a good approach, and it's definitely not a good argument. But the idea that I didn't know that I was mechayev in tshuva, he says, there's no way you can say that, because I've explained to you why it is and how it is that you're obligated in tshuva. Maybe you're going to try to answer, I did what I did. I was aware of my sin, but I really wasn't aware. How do I do it? How do I come back to HaKadosh Baruch Hu? How do I do tshuva? You can't give that answer either. I explained to you how indeed you do this. I gave you the steps. I went through all of the details. So what now is going to be the answer? After 120 years, when that question gets presented to us, what answer are we going to give? There's no doubt it will be placed in front of us. So wouldn't it make sense to prepare the answer when you have a chance to have the right answer? And that the right answer is, I did do tshuva. That's the only, and then obviously that would obviate the question in the first place. So wouldn't it be incumbent upon us now that when we can do tshuva, to prepare the right answer as long as we have the ability? V'da'achi. And again, he says, no, my brother, he says, your answer will not work if it's simply words. Because Baruch Hu is not interested in words. Words, as they say, talk is cheap. And if we're simply going to try to answer with words and not back it up with action, it's also going to fall short. Elorak adei maisim. Okay, you have to put the actions into fruition. You have to work physically and do what needs to be done to do the tshuva. Not simply say, I want to do tshuva, I will do tshuva, I'm doing tshuva without the actual physical involvement. You have to do a real soul-searching calculation. How can I reach this level? That it'll be pleasing to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. What do I have to do to get back into the good favor of HaKadosh Baruch Hu? And don't delay from doing this. Don't feel, I've got time. Only those people who have the zrizus, the alacrity, the energy, the focus to reach that good, those are the ones who can do it. The idea of sort of taking that sort of slow road and taking it easy and, not getting motivated and just sort of, I'll get to it, doesn't happen. And he ends this paragraph with a line that, I'm sure it's been stolen and borrowed from other people in maybe different variations, but we probably read it here first in the Chos HaVavos. He says, "V'totzoas v'atzlus eno charota." The results, the ultimate result of atzlus, of laziness, is only remorse. It's only regret. So you might be lazy now and feel that's the best course of action, but in the end, we will regret our laziness. We will regret our inability to get mobilized and activated to do what we have to do. So he's giving us a very strong charge to get into a full, all hands on deck kind of mode as soon as possible to do what we have to do, not just to say, not just to talk, but actually to walk the walk. He says very strongly, wake up, my dear brother, my dear friend, from the slumber of your foolishness. Get real, get with it. Have compassion on your soul. Of all of the things that Kodesh Baruch Hu gave us, the most valuable thing that He's given us is the one that we allude to every single morning. Our holiest gift that Kodesh Baruch Hu gave us is our neshama, and have compassion over it. Be concerned about it. You don't want it to be returned in an inappropriate fashion to Kodesh Baruch Hu. And how much longer? Until when? Will you sort of ignore your soul and delay in doing tshuva? How long do you want this to last? Till when can you procrastinate? Up until this point, and again, he's talking to those people who are in this mode where I know I have to do it, but I don't know, I'm not ready yet, and I don't know if I want to change, I don't know if I could change, or all the various excuses that people have in not doing tshuva, of not going through the process of returning to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He's saying to them very strongly, till now you've wasted your days, you've lost your days, you've gone after the desires and the wants of your passions, you went after your physical drives. Like the bad slave, the rebellious slave who runs away from his master, who does whatever he wants and basically runs away from his responsibilities. Now, he says, now the time has come that you return from your way. You stop the foolishness. You stop the abhorrent behavior. And you end the remaining days, and you should sort of, in a sense, sort of absorb and swallow up the remaining parts of your days by fulfilling the desire of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You've got limited time. He's telling us. We don't know, and as we'll see soon, we don't know how much time we have. So whatever time we do have, our job is to grab that immediately and as forcefully as possible. Hello, you know that life is short. Life is a fleeting blip on the screen, and if that's a totality of a lifetime is like a blip on the screen. And the life remaining left for you, because clearly if you're reading the Sefer, you've already passed 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years of your life. So that's already gone. So now what's left is for sure a blip on the screen. If a full lifetime it goes by like this, well then whatever's left of your life is even less than that, and that for sure is a half a blip. It's literally nothing. It's even less than that. Like we say, famous Mishnah, Hayom Katzar, the day is short, but Malachim Ruba, there's a lot of work to do. So the whole notion, I got plenty of time, relax, take it easy, it's just not true. Because we don't know. And even if it was 50 years, what's 50 years? What's 90 years? I mean, it all flies. Bottom line is, no matter how old a person is, when that time comes, it isn't like the person says, oh yeah, it's it's time. I mean, it happens, I guess, when people are sick, things like that. But generally, a healthy person who has the ability to live wants to live, and at any point in a person's life, it seems like it flew by, and that's the way life is. So. What are we going to delay? We're not going to take advantage. You have, my brother, he says to us, a beautiful neshama, an honorable neshama, a valuable neshama. But unfortunately, what did you do? Okay, but the way you honored it is till now is. And till now, what did you focus in on? And how did you sort of service this neshama? You focus on the foolishness and the shameful acts of this world, of this fleeting pleasure-filled world that has these pleasures that really are not truly fulfilling. Okay, and you focus on this world. Okay, you honor this world and you focus your neshama on the pleasures of this world. And you've in a sense disrespected and you've rejected the eternity that you should have been focusing on, that you should have been valuing your neshama to do. Okay, so till now you haven't been doing it right. And again, he's talking to the Baal Teshuva who's at the crossroads, who till now has been involved in inappropriate behavior. Now he or she's at the crossroads of turning it around, and the Chos HaLevos is giving that push to say now is the time. So what do you do with this great neshama that I've given you? Till now you've focused on this world. You've in a sense ignored it. You forgot the eternity that is waiting for you, that really would nurture this neshama properly. Hello. It's certainly fitting now, since you've wasted that much time, that you should elevate. Put it back where it belongs. Put it on the ultimate level of exalted stature where your neshama belongs. That's what it is. It's a chelak kamimal. The Vayipach Papav Nishmas HaKadosh Baruch Hu blew into Adam Rishon the spirit of HaKadosh Baruch Hu by blowing into Adam what he blew into him, and ultimately all of us subsequently is literally a chelak, a part of God. As the Zohar says, famous Zohar, when you blow into something, what you have inside that balloon is the air of the person that blew into that balloon. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu blew into us and gave us that source of life. That source of life, the neshama, came from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It has godliness within it. And that's what we all of us have within us. So how do you not put that neshama in a very exalted place, which means mitzvos and chesed and your shemayim, avos Hashem, the fundamental aspects of a relation with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shaneshamos holos elov shuv eden yodos b'malos la'ad. When neshama goes up, it ain't coming back down. I mean, leaving Gilgulim and all that whole other issue out, essentially when we return to our Maker, we are returning, and the neshama gets given back the way the way we essentially what we did with it while we were in this world. Asay zos maher, he says, so do this quickly. Do not delay. Kol oid shara tshuva pesuach levanecha. Grab it while that gate of tshuva is still open. And the gate of tshuva is only open when we have, Baruch Hashem, the strength and the breath to do something about it. From 6 feet under, it doesn't happen. As long as the HaKadosh Baruch Hu still will accept that the tshuva of yours and forgive you. Search out HaKadosh Baruch Hu when he will be found. Call out to him when he's close. Happens to be that his pasuk is, the Rambam brings this pasuk when talking about the Aseret Shemei Tshuva, that this is a special time. Obviously, Elul is also a special time to take advantage of tefillah. But the concept is that really, as long as we're alive, the Chavos Havos is applying this pasuk to the ability to do tshuva. That it only can happen b'motzo, when he's found, when you have this ability to connect to him. If it's already, if our lives are already gone and done, then obviously that ability is no longer there. Just a interesting, cute story, famous story about the Chavetz Chaim. We talk about this concept of the neshama, this pure neshama, and he's really saying to us, we've got to nurture it. We've got to sort of keep it special, keep it holy, and not let it get sullied by the involvement of the physicalities of this world. So the story goes that the Chavetz Chaim told one student, I want you to come to my house. I don't know if I have the exact timing straight, but the general story is there, that he said, I want you to come to my house 4 o'clock this evening. I have a special secret I'd like to share with you. And he only told one person. Now, did the Chavetz Chaim know this was going to happen? Could very well be. But what happened was, when this one Talmud heard that the Chavetz Chaim at 4 o'clock in the morning asked me to come to his door to have a secret revealed to him, he told his chaver. He didn't want to be the only one. I mean, I'm not going to tell my friend who told his friend, So before you know it, the entire town of Radin at 4 a.m. is waiting outside the Chavetz Chaim's house. And sure enough, the Chavetz Chaim opens the door, and he sees the entire town. And this is it was Rosh Hashanah time. I think it was Yimei Elul, and he basically says, "Look at the tefillah and the bracha we say every single day. Elokai, neshama shunasatabi, tahori, ata varasa, ata yatzarta, ata nafachta bi, v'ata mishamer b'kirbi, v'ata osid little mimeni ulachzir lilo sidlovo." So he says, that same neshama that you blew into me, okay, that is within me, that I will ultimately give back to you, and you will return to me. So he says, the Chavetz Chaim says, look at the words, it's that same neshama, meaning the same neshama that I give back to HaKadosh Baruch Hu after I finish the world, that's one that I'm going to have by Tchias HaMesim. So he says, if you don't give back a clean neshama, you're not getting back a clean neshama. You're getting back the neshama, ulachzir bi, right? Atos little of and you're going to take it from me and give me back that neshama that I gave you after 120 years. So he says, what kind of neshama do you want back? Do you want a neshama that's pristine and beautiful, so you can live Tchias HaMesim in a atmosphere of beauty and glory and closeness to HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Or do you want to have a solid neshama and live eternity with this blemish that you created because the neshama that you didn't polish when you were here on this world? So it's the same idea. That very idea is what the Chavos Havos is telling us regarding the issue of tshuva. If we don't do tshuva and polish that neshama and clean off all the dirt, it's an incredibly missed opportunity. So Maherachi, he says, so hurry, my brother. Okay, I guess he assumes he's talking mostly to men, but obviously things have changed over the years. Maherachi, he says, hurry, my brother. His dores lagza b'tshuva. Hurry yourself. Get girded. Get ready. L'fnei bo hayoim, before the day comes shincha mefached yemenu, that you are afraid of. Right? No one likes to think about that day, but it's a day that we know is coming one time or another. Ki eincha b'tuach afil b'chayom echad. He says, let's talk tachlis. He says, no one is sure about today. Okay, we don't know what today brings. We don't know what tomorrow brings. Ayem b'masecha. Search into your actions with the best of your ability, a real honest pure analysis of what it is that you're doing and how it is that you're doing it. Bilti mushba midimyonos v'taivos, removed from all types of imaginations and basically sort of creating images that are not true, false images and lustful desires, which can clearly cloud our thinking and affect our objectivity. If a person in this kind of environment wants to reach the true place where HaKadosh Baruch Hu will be happy and to fulfill the will of God, he's got to, or she's got to sort of create a very narrow opening and sort of go through that narrow doorway. And in that doorway that come close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, who goes through that door? The Hasidim, the saintly people, Hasovlim Bol Mazeh, that they endure a lot, they take a lot in this world, L'man Kavod Shema Yisborach, for the sake of the honor of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So really, if you want to really be successful, you carve out sort of a narrow niche for yourself that needs to be in a very special, lofty place. We all want to reach good. We all want the reward waiting at the end of eternity, or at the end of our lives, and at the point when we are entering into an eternal world. But even though we all want it, the ones who ultimately achieve it are the ones who have the energy and the focus and the determination to make it happen. They run to it. They have there's reasons and the drive to make it happen. As our sages have taught us very famously in the Mishnah Avos, so the Az Kanesher. Okay, we left one out, but Kanomer. Okay, I think some words are missing in this one. But have a as kanomer, right? Be as bold as a leopard, v'kal kanesher, and as light and as like the eagle, like light as eagle. Rutz kitzvi, run like a deer. The gibar kari, and be strong as a lion. So we have to take the virtues of the various animals. In this case, the eagle that soars high. Okay, the leopard that has this sort of boldness about them. The deer that has the alacrity and the speed, and of course the strength of the lion. Be a gibor kari lasas r'tzon avicha shebashmayim, in order to do the will of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in heaven. V'David Melech Omar, and so to David Melech said, Chashti voice pamoti, I girded myself, I moved quickly, I did not delay, l'shram mitzosecha, to observe your mitzvos. So it's okay. So bottom line is, you see that in order to fulfill this, it requires a tremendous amount of energy. But when you know the focus, and you know what's required, we can't delay, and we have to do with everything we have. See, so now he continues this message. Make for yourself a calculation of the soul. The famous cheshbon nefesh. And you should be embarrassed from your Creator. Just compare your relation with HaKadosh Baruch Hu to the way you would relate to a flesh and blood individual who, let's say, you were somewhat afraid of, who somewhat had a certain amount of power that they can wield over you. So, wouldn't you think that you shouldn't treat HaKadosh Baruch Hu any less than you would treat a policeman or somebody who you want to be on the good side of this individual? Do you think that you want to put HaKadosh Baruch Hu and relate to him in a lesser fashion? He says, you know full well, he says to us, if you have just a small official from the king, not the big shot, not a top fellow, but somebody who represents the king, and he's like your local policeman type of fellow. So he's got some power, and somehow you got him upset. Don't you immediately not delay in lowering yourself to that person and saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and making sure you can make peace right away. Please forgive me right away. Go over to the person, you make real nice to the person. You make, "Oh, please don't hurt me. Please don't give me a ticket. Please, And we're right now, that our strategies were so nice to the cop, and we don't want to, we don't want him to write the ticket. Just give me a warning. We'll do anything to avoid that small little slap on the wrist that this fellow or this lady can give us." Granted, that person doesn't have real power to do anything really serious to you, right? I mean, if the person's not the judge who can throw away the keys, it's not somebody who really can damage you. And for sure, whatever you do to the lower level individual, if it's a higher officer, if somebody in the cabinet of the king, for sure you're going to be very concerned. And for sure you're going to go out of your way, please be nice. You're going to be nice to them. You're going to ingratiate yourself to them. You're going to do whatever you can to make sure that they're happy with you. And for sure, if you've got the king upset, that, clearly is not a great place to be. And you're going to go out of your way to make that king as, happy as he can possibly be with you. You're going to go out of your way to please forgive me, Your Highness, please forgive me. You're going to go very quickly and do whatever you can to return to that person, okay, with complete tshuva. What can I do to undo the wrong? How do I repay you? How do I make up for it? You ask a bunch of different questions. Well, and to appease that king. Based on a fear, you don't want an immediate, off with his head kind of situation. You don't want the king to get really upset and just, finish you off. So you'll do whatever you can to really get on his good side very, very quickly. And you're going to do all this, lamros, with the full awareness. I mean, let's be honest, could the king do anything to you that Kadosh Baruch Hu didn't want to happen? So what are you getting so nervous about? If whatever happens to you, full well after learning the Shar B'Tachon of the Chavos of Avos, that this is what the king decrees, well, that's what was meant by Kadosh Baruch Hu to happen. So what are you getting all bent out of shape? Like Shlomo Melech says in Mishlei, Palge Mayim Leiv Melech Be'ad Hashem, the heart of a king in the hand of HaKadosh Baruch Hu is like the streams of the river, like streams of water. Whatever HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants in terms of which direction it goes, he can turn it in any direction. So he can turn this one's heart this way or that way. So all of the things that happen in this world, in the world of politics, we get so caught up in politics. At the end of the day, who's running the Welt? HaKadosh Baruch Hu's running the Welt. So how this one got elected and what this one says and this one's reaction, all of the stuff going on in the world, we need to recognize that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the one ultimately pulling the strings and making things happen the way they need to happen. Bitoch. Right, as Shlomo Melech said, HaKadosh Baruch Hu controls the heart of the king. V'lamros, and also considering it's very possible that he won't have the time, this king, to punish you. Maybe his reign is going to end. The king is dead. Long live the king. So we don't know how long the king's going to last. Maybe his whole kingdom is gonna fall. In which case you're gonna be off scot free because you got a new king on the block. And in addition, the king has got a lot of thoughts on his head. He might easily forget about you tomorrow. So you're all nervous and you're going all out of your way to do whatever you can to make the king happy with you. But you've got a lot of possibility that it's really not going to be such a big problem. And yet you're still doing all this. You're still going out of your way. You don't want to, and you don't leave anything, no stone unturned. You want to leave nothing to chance. And very often, the worries that a king has and he's dealing with major issues could very often take him away from these smaller issues that might, in the end, clear you. And he won't have the time to worry about you. He might totally be removed and forget what you did altogether. And then, that might happen. You see that the king doesn't keep everything in his head. Many things that he forgets, things that he should attend to, that he doesn't attend to. He's human. He's a king. Okay, so things are going to happen. So you've got a lot of ways out, and yet do you leave that to chance? Do you not pursue his goodwill? You certainly do. And certainly when things are quiet and secret, it's very easy for the king to forget those things. So and to the extent that yes, you know all of this that I just said, what happens? You still don't delay to ask that king and get into that king's face and to ask him right away, oh, please forgive me, and you're very nervous and you're very much concerned what's going to be. So look at you. He said, look in the mirror of what you're doing. Look how far you're going to go to try to, make sure the government is happy, the king is happy, the policeman's happy, everyone's happy with you. And you want to make sure that they look at you in a positive light. He says, you go out of your way to do whatever the king wants from you, and you'll do for him whatever he'll accept from you, you'll do. Right? So you're on full frontal alert, and you're mobilized to do whatever it takes. So if that's the case, and this is the way we are, right? This is what a typical person would do. If you're worried about a sentence in jail, you're worried about crime, you're worried about the plea deals, and we know what all the different types of concerns that a person has, and making sure that they don't end up in a bad spot with the government. If that's the case, so how could it be? Okay, my dear brother, how could it be that we're not embarrassed from our Creator? Who knows every single thought and every single action, both private and revealed? There are no secrets from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Nothing is removed from him and nothing is forgotten from him. Okay, there's no shikha, there's no halama, there's nothing that sort of becomes hidden, and certainly nothing that he would forget. And multitasking is not a problem for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It might be a problem for certain kings, especially if they have ADHD and stuff. But if to multitask for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, not a problem. Okay, he can take on every single detail, every single aspect of the world all at one time, not an issue. And you can't escape the punishment. Because Baruch Hu has a plan that's coming a person's way. That's just the way it's going to be. And it's not ending. The reign of HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not going to be over anytime soon. Okay, it's an eternal reign. Okay, L'olam ved. How then do we turn away from our proper service, and we delay from humbling ourselves in front of him, and to return to tshuva towards him? How do we do that? How do we we're concerned about the physical issues facing us that are passing and fleeting, not nearly as severe, and yet we don't take the real issues that are eternal and coming from and being dealt with by a God who is here forever and who has no forgetfulness, and that we're not concerned about? Isn't it certainly incumbent upon us to then, fully appreciate the need to do tshuva and the need to do tshuva immediately? It says, okay, so very powerful stuff here. And there's another reason why we should be doing this. Another reason to do this as fast as possible is because we don't know. He reminds us he mentioned this earlier, and he reminds us of this again. We don't know how many years we have. At the end of the day, we all give ourselves a bracha ad mei ve'esrim, but we just don't know when that lifetime ends. And how many years we have to live. Take a look, and this is how sad it is today, when unfortunately we're still reeling from Tzoros and Klal Yisrael, and people who we just 1 minute they're vibrant and they're here and they're they're leaders and they're amazing people, and the next minute they're just gone by some incredible tragedy that we just can't wrap our hands around. We just can't fathom it. So examine it. He says, look at the reality. If somebody would come into a certain neighborhood, okay, or a certain country, and he would make an announcement, if you would say, okay, everybody say, listen carefully. This is a fact. B'nei Adam, listen people. Hikainu likras hanasiyah ol mabot, be prepared for the travel into the next world. One of you looks at a group, looks at a city, looks at a town, whatever it might be, and says, one of you is dying this month. So what would our and there was no doubt that the person was accurate. No, the person was not stop talking. The person knew what they were saying. In any of the I just don't know who it is, but I can guarantee you this: one of the group is going to die. Would it not be so logical? And wouldn't proper, prudent action be obligating us to prepare ourselves for the possibility that we might be that person? He might be that person. So how would that person not take that to heart? You don't know. So if it's 1 in 20, 1 in 50, 1 in 100, but you know what's going to happen, and you're nervous about it. So you want to be prepared. So you go out of the way to make sure that everything is right. So if that's the case, how are we not all ready for that? Ready for death? We see the Malchamavas unfortunately visits people every month. There are people, we can look back at every month that the people in Klal Yisrael who are no longer here. Okay, like I said, this is a sad reality. So certainly proper logic and din, the proper course of activity should be, we should obligate us, right? I mean, again, it's not to make us paranoid to think we're not going to live forever, that we might die this month. It's not about getting frozen and getting depressed. It's about getting yourself ready. And if a person looked at life this way, if anything, the person would live a much fuller life, not a more depressing life, chas v'shalom. And person should examine what have we done till now. Do I have the proper provision to prepare for my journey after death? And to the place that has been designated for our neshamas to be received. Certainly at least one day before. If we're not going to do a whole month before, at least one day before. As the famous mission of us says, repent to HaKadosh Baruch Hu one day before you die. Okay, which obviously means we don't know when we're going to die. So therefore you do it every day because you just never know which is that day. Ushal Melech Omar, so to Shal Melech said the Koheles, B'chol Eis Yeh B'Gadech Levanim. A human being should try to have their clothes, their garments white at all times. And of course, this is a reference to the neshama. We should try to always have a neshama in a pristine state, and that constantly means tshuva on a regular basis. B'dok es nechonos hadavar. He says, so examine the propriety of the matters here, meitav sichucha, with the best of your ability to have intellectual clarity, v'karoscha, and your ability to analyze and to recognize adei ma shinchara beinecha. See what you know in your eyes. Look at the situation. V'tishtachnei yoser shu nachoin, and you will then be convinced that it's a right course of action. From better than hearing it from anybody else. Because at the end of the day, hearing it from other people is nice, and sometimes we get inspired, but the greatest inspiration comes when we are inspired from within. So he's encouraging us and he's urging us, think about the fact that life is fleeting, and we don't know how long we have. And I've mentioned before that reading the biography of Rav Shach Zatzal was incredible. Here's a man, Baruch Hashem, he had Arichas Yomim, he lived to I believe over 100 years. At the same time, every single issue of planning and of his life, he lived as if today was the last day. He had that push, that incredible value of that day to maximize it to the hilt, and not to waste time, and not to just sort of let it slip through his fingers. So that's a message for us. It's certainly very powerful. But Hashem, it looks like next time we'll finish Sha'ar Teshuva and move on to the next one, and we'll pick it up from here. Shkayach.